Statistics show that marriages that happen between the ages of 20 to the years of 25, those marriages are at a higher risk of divorce than any other group.
And then we also talking about our marriage. What was the percentage on that?
90% of second marriages end up in divorce.
Wow.
There are a myriad of challenges and risk to early marriages, especially those marriages occurring in the early ages between 20 to 25. Number one, people somehow think that maturity is not linked to marriage. But I disagree with that.
At 25, I was midway in the loading process of figuring out who I am.
How many individuals who have seen this content at the age of 25 can say that they were fully developed and ready to take on the challenges that comes with marriage and life? Later on in life, I felt like I made a mistake. I should have done something else. The early 20s, statistically proven, is a search for identity. You can't even accurately make a permanent decision on something.
I'm never going to go back on, I do not encourage a 20-year-old or anybody in their early 20s to get married. I'm not going to go back on that, no matter what.
Marriage is not for everyone.
Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to be here. We have been having so much fun having these conversations, and we realize that a lot of you are enjoying these conversations as well, because we see all these comments in the comment section. And also, love, we have noticed that there are a lot of people who watch, who consume our content, yet
they're not subscribed.
They're not subscribed.
What's happening, guys?
What's happening? Come on. All right. So we're going to give them 10 seconds. It's free, guys. The button is right down here. You can actually go ahead and click that subscribe button, and it's all free. Gratis. Okay? So, all right. We're going to give you 5 seconds. Okay? Let's start the countdown now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Subscribe, guys.
Subscribe. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Unfiltered Heart Talks Podcast, family with the Dawkins.
Right. And for first-time viewers, we want to welcome you and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Let's get into this conversation.
Yes, love.
Yes. So we posted a video where we had the discussion about why we stayed married, why we got divorced, the biggest mistake of our lives. And of course, we got a lot of comments, especially over there
on TikTok. Yes.
And we made the statement that we strongly discourage young people, especially those individuals who are in their 20s.
Early 20s, guys.
Early 20s from getting married. And of course, a lot of people have their own experience, and they felt like our opinion wasn't valid, being that their reality was expressing something completely different. And of course, we try not to be monolithic in our thinking. This is not a monolithic bubble that we are creating. We're creating a space where people can have their own perception as it relates to what we discuss and share it with us.
And so it was in the comments.
And so it was in
very
the comments.
Polarized.
Right.
You know, one group of people were for this and they agreed 100% with what we said. And then there were people that were sharing their own experiences, and there were people that were completely anti what we said. And then there was also a person, I believe, in the comments that's saying, "Sir, you're not God." Yeah.
Somebody asked me if I was a psychologist also.
Right? Yes, that was. Are you a marriage therapist?
Are you
I think it was
a counselor?
Yeah, marriage counselor. Yes.
Yeah. You know, but the thing is, when it comes to marriage, there are a myriad of research and statistics that are there to support the claim of early marriages and the risk that comes with it, especially those marriages that occur during the early 20s.
Yeah.
Statistics shows that marriages that happen between the ages of 20, especially in the teens too, because people do get married in their teens.
Yes.
But those marriages from the late teens to the early 20s to the years of 25, those marriages are at a higher risk of divorce than any other group that gets married.
That's true. And I remember you were sharing some data with me on a lot of couples marriages failing within
the first 5 years. Right. So a lot of early marriages, statistics shows that a lot of early marriages faces a number of issues, and we're going to touch on a few of those issues. But a lot of early marriages fail within the first 5 years.
So you see why
5 to 10.
Yeah.
Including mine.
Wow.
Including yours.
Including mine. So you see why, and that's another thing we need to touch on. So you see why I thought that pushing it to year 7 would have guaranteed success. And then we also talking about our marriage. What was the percentage on that?
It was 90%.
90% chance of failure
of second marriages.
For second marriages.
90% of second marriages end up in divorce.
Wow.
So, and this is very important to put out there, that statistic is just a number. You are just a number within that statistic. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will be a part of that statistic. You can be the 1%. And of course you have the 1%.
There's always the 1%.
But majority makes the rule.
Yes.
And so when we speak to early marriages, especially age group marriages within the 20s, we're really making the argument for majority of those marriages which have led to divorce. All right.
And another thing that I realized, because you've rightfully mentioned statistics is just a number.
It's just
not
a number.
Everybody gets counted and checked.
Right.
So that means that there are a lot. I've known people who have been divorced, like separated, and they never got back together, but they never went through the divorce process. So I don't believe the statistics is even including those couples that never got divorced, but stayed separated.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the statistics that we have looked at, and of course we're going to get into some of them, as well as share videos from divorce lawyers and their thoughts on early marriages and divorces. But the thing is, there are myriad of challenges and risks to early marriages, especially those marriages occurring in the early ages between 20 to 25. Number one, you can make an argument for incomplete personal development, and that looks at the development of the brain, the prefrontal cortex,
yes,
right, which is said to be fully developed by the age of 25, which is something that I don't believe in, honestly, because at 25 years old, come on, I remember how mature I was.
Yeah.
Hands down, and anybody at Victor Dixon High School, when I was going to high school, can say this, that I was the most, not one of, I was the most mature student at Victor Dixon High School. I was so mature and respected, not only by peers, but by teachers. I was called Mr.
And you were called the pastor.
Mr. and pastor. So talk about my level of maturity during high school.
Yeah.
It was high.
Yeah.
But that there were stages to maturity, which is one of the arguments that we always make. But people have a perception when it comes to maturity, and people somehow think that maturity is not linked to marriage. But I disagree with that.
Yeah, I can remember when I was 15, 16, a lot of people said...
You were very mature.
A lot of people said that I was mature for my age. But to say, I'm not going to say, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a brain person. But at 25, I was midway loaded in the loading process of figuring out who I am. So to say that it's completely developed at that point...
Right. I don't agree with that.
I personally don't agree with that, but everybody develops at a different phase and a different stage. Some people are born premature. Some people are born late. Some people,
let me tell you what,
different cultures,
If we were to do a survey on this video, or just do a survey post after we post this video, to do a survey to ask how many individuals who have seen this content at the age of 25 can say that they were fully developed and ready to take on the challenges that comes with marriage and life.
Rewind. So are you... All right, let me rephrase the question, because I think it was a little bit jumbled. You're asking a person that is not 25 to look back at their 25-year-old self.
Yeah, I'm saying how many individuals out there who would have gone through the 20 their 20s, and of course they have an understanding of what their 20s look like and how mature early 20s, 20 to 25. How many of those individuals can accurately say 100% say that at age 25, I was fully ready to take on life as well as marital responsibilities. I was ready, I was prepared, and I 100% had all the necessary experiences and skills needed to handle the challenges and responsibilities of marriage.
A lot of people can't say that.
A lot of people can't say that.
Yes, because a lot of people in their 40s looking back said that. You know, even when I remember, I don't know who else can relate, but when I was in prep school and I got to fifth form, no, when I was in prep school and I got to grade 6, I felt like I was grown. You see, when I was in high school and I was in fifth form, I thought I was grown. I thought that I arrived. You see, when I went to college, I'm like, my God, I'm literally just learning. Like, I did not arrive. I only thought I did. Yeah. You know? So a lot of time.
Yeah, life is like that. Because talk about students who go to university, and there are countless amount of students who can say that when I was going to university, I thought at the moment that I wanted to study this particular degree. But later on in life, I felt like I made a mistake. I should have done something else. The early 20s, the argument I'm trying to make is the early 20s, statistically proven, is a search for identity. It's personal development age. I'm not saying, again, that you don't have that 1% of individuals who can really get married and sustain that right throughout life. Another statistics that we looked at that was very interesting was one coming out of England. I'm just going to see if I find that statistics where it was actually making reference to a lot of young people in their early 20s who gets married in England and Europe. They end up getting divorced in their early 40s, between 40 and 45.
Yes, you were sharing that with me.
You know?
Yes.
So what statistics is showing is that the marriages that really last, which is not a lot, because we understand that marriages are failing left, right, and center. But the argument we're making is that early 20s marriage have a higher divorce risk than any other age group that exists.
But wait. Then we get to like, anyway.
I'm going to look for the...
Definitely. And you know, somebody listening to this podcast would probably say, like we've heard in one of our previous conversations, somebody listening to this podcast might be able to say that relationships aren't lasting these days because, as our comment said, as soon as there comes a crossroad, everyone is willing to give up. No one is willing to fight through the struggles. So what happens in those situations where those people got married very young in their teens, early 20s, and they still ended up in divorce when they were 40? What happened? Obviously, they fought through something. You know, what really happened during that time where they decided, I'm going to fight for almost 20 years and then I'm going to give up at age 40?
Well, another interesting statistics, and the statistics that I made mention of earlier, it came from Harbor Family Law. So these are people who deals with divorce. So divorce. Yeah. So you know that they have accurate statistics as it relates to divorce issues. Another statistics shows that a lot of people, how many percentage did it say? I shared it with you. It was about 20-something percentage of families that gets separated but not divorced.
Ooh,
so they get separated,
but never go through the divorce
up to 5
process.
Years and never go through the divorce process. And a lot of that happen.
Yes, you know? And I was telling you that I know somebody personally that they're in their 60s, you know, mid 60s, and they've been separated for the longest time. This person is in their 60s and they have not gotten a divorce. And it makes you realize that even though the statistics says this, it's probably not 100. Well, it is accurate. It is accurate because they're going
based on that they have collected.
It's going based on people who have gone through the divorce process.
The population sample that they have studied, or for those who have gone through the divorce. And mind you, divorce statistics is not something that you will find that is easily debunked or that contains errors, because these statistics usually comes from law firms who studies who practices
family law,
and they also come like this one in the United States. I'm just going to pull it up really quick because I want people to get the facts.
And we could also link those things in the description.
We could
as
definitely link these statistics.
One of the things I want you to remind me of is, you remember that culture, that one group of people that you said that every year about 90% or more people get divorced. It's like a Spanish country.
Was it a Spanish country?
Portugal or something like that?
I think it was Portugal. I was looking at global statistics for marriage and family. Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at global statistics.
I thought that was a lot. 90% per year.
90% of. I'm not sure if it was per year. It says 90%. Their divorce rate is at 90%.
Oh, wow.
So that's how many people are getting married and divorced in a short span of time. And you made mention of the fact that, you know, a lot of people are getting married and getting divorced, especially now in this era. And the truth is, I just believe that people no longer possess the temperament to deal with marriage. I just don't believe that someone once said that marriage is not outdated. It's just that people are no longer worthy of marriage.
Yes.
I don't think that it's not a case where people are not worthy, because God did create us to be and get married. And the truth is, marriage is not for everyone. Was that God's expectation that we would all get married and have lovely families and live? Yes. But of course, sin has tainted everything, you know, so marriage is not for everyone.
No,
that's true.
It's not.
And for those who are married, I just don't think that people really possess the character, the mental capacity, the personal development to deal with marriage. And a lot of people we would have seen commented from TikTok, which were saying that, hey, there are countless men out here who are in their 30s, even 40-year-old
and they're not ready for marriage.
They're acting like little children.
Kids.
You know, so it goes back to personal development. And that is why if they are in their 40s and are acting that way, it shows that they did not go through the proper stages of personal development. You know?
Yes.
And if you understand psychology, if you understand the psychology and the developmental stages, you can understand how detrimental it is for people not to go through the proper stages of development.
Yes.
You know, yes, someone can argue to say that it's just a theory, but this theory
has been tested
and proven, you know. But one of the things that we made mention of too, where we talk about the search for identity in your early 20s, and we made mention also of the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain dealing with decision making. In your early 20s, you can't even accurately make a permanent decision on something
that you know you won't regret later on in life.
You know, that's a trial and error stage where you are trying different things to see how your personality match with these things and how much these things will affect you or impact your life going forward. So when you talk about, and I'm not saying that, I'm not making the argument only to say that people in their early 20s should not get married to each other. I'm making the argument also to say, definitively, to say that even individuals who are in their 30s or 27, 28, 29, who are fully ready and prepared, I still wouldn't advise those I would not advise anyone who is at that age to get involved with someone who is in their early 20s.
Yes. I'm
it's not going to work.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, I had asked the question, what are your thoughts on a woman marrying a man that is younger than her? And that's another riff that was, brought it up
over
TikTok.
That's the argument that brought up the debate.
Yes, because this one lady, she just made her statement clear that I was maybe 14 or 10 years older than my spouse, or however older. I'm not entirely sure of the exact number, but I'm older than my spouse, and a relationship lasted a long time until he passed away. So that's another.
That's a 1%.
That's a 1% too.
And kudos to you. Thumbs up. You found yourself a good one, and that's something you should be proud of, I would say.
Yeah. But I really do want to get into these other professionals, what they're saying, because honestly, I'm never going to go back on. I do not encourage a 20-year-old or anybody in their early 20s to get married. I'm not going to go back on that, no matter what. I remember how stupid I was when I was 20, and I literally just started waking up. 20, when I was in my early 20s, I was figuring life out.
Figuring life
out, trying to do this thing. How does money work? How does this work? Man. Then I'm in I'm at 25. I'm uncertain, but I'm still there. And then when I got to 28, I realized I'm not here for jokes. If you don't like me, that's fine.
Life is getting serious.
I'm here to build the dream and move forward. My relationship with God and my family is important. Yeah. And that is all that matters to me. That's when I got to that level. I didn't get there when I was 20. And I'm not saying it's impossible to actually have a family at 20. So many people do it. I look at one of those people that I really used to consume her content a lot. Sarah Therese.
Right.
Yeah, Sarah Therese, she got married early. Her husband was 19 and she was her husband was 20 and she was 19 or something like that. They were just a year apart and he was 1 year older, and they got married. They are together now, and I think they're on child number 5.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
So they're the 1%, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're the 1%.
It's definitely beautiful.
One time
it's not impossible.
Yeah, one time I could make the argument to say a young lady, even at 18 years old, would be far more prepared to handle the responsibilities of marriage. And that is because we have to understand that women are so different from men in our expectations and what we look for as men. It takes way more for us to get to that place of personal development. Whereas for a woman, she's not necessarily waiting to get to that place of development. She's waiting for the right man to come along who has everything that he needs to have so that she can hop onto that wagon and experience upward social mobility just like that.
That's a little vague, but
meaning that whereas a man has to work to accomplish all that he needs to accomplish to be ready to take care of his marital responsibilities. Back then, women were not necessarily going out to work, getting into the field and stuff like that. A rich man comes along, he sees her, he likes her, and he takes her to be his wife. And by virtue of the fact that she becomes his wife, she automatically gains status. So what I'm saying is that men were not born with value. Biblically speaking, every human being is born with value. From a societal standpoint, men have to earn their own value and status.
I see your point.
So a woman is born a virgin. She's beautiful. She automatically has status and value just by the fact that she's a virgin. Now, take it to this era. You don't need to be a virgin anymore. You just need to be beautiful, as they say about, and that gives you value. Where it concerns a man, we have to go through life's journey. We have to get ourselves educated. We have to take care of our physical physique, get physically fit, take care of our body, and try to get an education so that we can experience upward social mobility and get to the place in life where we can have status. The woman without status, she just has value. All we need to do is to see that she's beautiful, see that she's a virgin, her body count is low, and boom, we take her, marry her, and she automatically gets status. So it's a whole different scenario when it comes to men and the challenge that we have to go through versus women, All right, so let's look at some of these videos from lawyers who would have dealt with family divorce and marriage and all of these things and hear what they have to say.
So I got married about 6 months ago when I was 25, still am 25, and I learned a couple things. I was in New York and I went out with some friends, and then I went out with friends of my friend. I was with a friend and then we went out with her friends. That makes sense. I'm the outsider. We start chit-chatting. They see my hand. They're like, oh my God, you have a wedding ring. And my friend was like, yeah, she's married. Boom. The New York girlies, like the New York 25, 26, 27 corporate baddies. I realized I'm from the South. I realized I got married young. I also don't like being part of stereotypes.
So, yeah. So when
I never quite got that.
Yeah.
You said you got it. So please enlighten me. I don't know.
My assumption here would be that she's probably out with single friends, which is a huge problem. I would say if you're a married woman, one of the things that you want to avoid, even if you're a married man, one of the things that you want to avoid is going out with single friends. Mm-hmm. So I think that by her being out with her single friends, peer pressure is completely awakened. Mm. You understand? So
it depends on the values of the friends that you are surrounded by.
But in her situation, we can clearly see that peer pressure is at play here, because obviously she's there. Mm. They're enjoying life, single and free, and she's seen that, and they're saying, like, are you seriously married? We're out here enjoying life. That's what I get from.
Oh, I see. I could get that.
We're here enjoying life, and you're buckled down with someone,
and you're out here with us.
Yeah. So for her,
I wasn't sure. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's what I got from it.
And
I think for her, it's just that she is out with the wrong group of people, and that's what I talk about. This whole idea in this culture with the girls trip, the girls clubbing and all of these things. I just want to say, if